All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again. Episode 79 of Stats Over Politics. For the audio-only listeners, Toddy is pointing at his finger for his NFC Championship ring that he just got. So he just left out, so I'm sure he's throwing some Niner gear on to come back on the screen, but we will get Toddy back soon, shortly.
Probably.
But Gary, how are you doing today, brother?
It's good, man. It's good. It's been a wild day talking to all these Niner fans and people like Vaughn going crazy. So you know what? We're gonna talk about it. But overall, good Monday, man. Sunny day, no rain around over here, so we all good, man. Let's get it started, man.
Good. And Todd, before I swing it to you, man, you're pointing at your finger. We already got a comment fresh off the bat. The 49ers finna lose. So, Todd, your team just won the NFC Championship. I know you're expecting your NFC Championship ring in the mail anytime soon. So keep making sure you know what Pinkert's going on, because you might not get another one. So, how are you feeling, Toddy?
It's been a long 11 months, 12 months. From last year, last pick in the draft, by the way, tore his UCL. I don't know if you guys remember that. Niners didn't have a quarterback to play in the NFC Championship game last year after our fourth string got knocked out of the game. And then, kind of just battling back all through off season, just trying to make sure he's good. And then him finally getting cleared, and then, has an MVP caliber season and, leading multiple fourth quarter comebacks in the playoffs is unprecedented for a second year starter. It's only right that the Niners, won in the particular fashion that they won yesterday. And, I want to give a special shout out to our boy Ev in the group chat. Has betted against the Niners multiple weeks and lost four figures in multiple weeks. Don't know if that's a sign on telling you, hey, maybe it's time to hang them up, or if you can't beat them, join them and, bet on the right team. I want to also give a special shout out to Uncle Manny, because he's been a slight advocate in the group chat, saying that, it's always luck. This happened, that happened. Oh, well, this should have happened. Well, I guess we're just the luckiest team in NFC Championship history, because that was it tied the largest comeback in NFC Championship history. So I guess that's luck as well. So Kev had a factor cap last week on Monday's episode talking about Josh Allen. And, me and my boy Kenny Caraway were going back and forth on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, last week, saying, Josh Allen or Brock Purdy is better than Josh Allen. If Purdy wins the bowl in 2 weeks, might have to retract my statement. I'm just going to say that right now.
Before you keep going, Gary, I know you heard that if, right? Some confidence.
I heard the if, and I was like, hold on, didn't he ask you how your day going? Are you ready to go? Vaughn's ready to go. He didn't start it.
I'm just saying.
I'm confident than I see, but I'm doing well, man.
I'm doing well. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing well, man. I can't complain. Everyone's texting and calling me like I would have thought the Eagles played in the NFC Championship game. Toddy's calling me saying "fuck Kev." And I didn't say nothing in the group chat because I told Toddy when we talked on the phone the day before the show. I said I know better. I know better than to cash in my coins too early. So I was sitting back and I told Alyssa, I said,
yeah, yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. I said you shouldn't have sent the picture to Cancun. I said you did it. You might have jinxed us.
You jinxed it. Everybody jinxed it. But, I'm doing well, man. I can't complain. I had no team in the race, so I'm not really upset about anything. But we'll get into the game. But let's get into some of these comics. We got a Amber Anderson Wells. We got a Go Niners.
Point to your ring finger, Amber.
We got a Bang Bang from Smub, a.k.a. Kevin's dad. We got Kevin as a hater.
Point to your ring finger.
My dad is commenting in the comments saying he is, which is just blasphemy. And then Birdie is good enough to take us to the Super Bowl. No more should be said. But Dad, let's not forget number 10, Jimmy Garoppolo, who did the same thing. So, hey, is it Brock Purdy? Is it the team? Who knows? But this is Kevin Dent, Stats Over Politics, episode 79. Joined by Gary and Toddy. Once again, I'm doing my best to sit in for Shaun Hoko. He had to work today, so whether they were going to lose or win, he was not going to come. So no shade against Shaun at all. But in the honor of Shaun, we're going to keep it the same way he would run it. We're going to go in chronological order. So we will start with the Chiefs beating the Ravens 17-10. Gary, you had called this since we did our predictions in the preseason. Back-to-back bowls for Baby Go.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts to see him go to his 6th straight AFC Championship game?
Man, oh man, this one was, I hate to say I said it, but I kind of feel like I got to, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, Instagram people, they're really disrespectful to the Niners. I ain't trying to start off on a negative note already dissing Niners. So I actually was gonna give a lot of love today because I thought we were gonna walk into a funeral, Shaun. Shaun was already second half like, oh, shut up. I'm like, thought we was gonna walk into a funeral, so we're gonna give the Niners their flowers when that time comes. But I gotta say it. This is pretty much the bowl. You just watch the bowl right here. If you watch this game right here at 12 o'clock, this was going to be the bowl for me. I've been saying it. Whoever wins AFC is going to win the Super Bowl. And that's what the Chiefs proved. Chiefs are one of the team of the century. Kev, I know they're going to hate me for saying this, but oh well. It's like LeBron running the East back in the day for 10 years. That's what Mahomes is doing. He's running the AFC. He's punched his ticket every time, wherever it's at. You want him on the road, you want him at home. Wherever you want, they're going to come up clutch, and they came up clutch in this game. Simple as that. People might point to, what it was when you. This is the demoralizing factor with the Chiefs that really came out all postseason long. When they faced the Miami, when they faced the Bills, and now facing the Ravens, which is 3 big dogs to get to this point, and the great QBs on every which level they played realistically, who had MVP type numbers and have in the past. So they scored first. Simple as that. They were really ones that hit first. And when you're on the road and you hit first in pretty much every game, and puts the home team right here in this particular spot, the Ravens, at a disadvantage. And, they're playing behind, and it was not looking good for them pretty much the whole first half. And you let Travis Kelce, and everyone was probably like, oh, how you let Travis Kelce get off and have a good season. It's one of those things, man. Just like Gronk back in the day. It's just like so it's crazy how the best quarterbacks have their best weapons are their tight ends, and it's like so mirroring each other. Where like when you need him most, he's gonna show up, and he showed up when they needed him most. And Andy Reid just the first half basically just on time and on target, scoring 14 points pretty much in the first half, and really putting up 17 points in the first half, really starting off the game good. And they already put the Ravens, who, I've been liking all year. Ravens have been, they're in my division. I'm supposed to hate the Ravens in my heart. But like I told you guys in the preseason, I was hoping Lamar Jackson was out of our conference, out of my division, because that man is scary. And he showed up in the second half a little bit, trying to make a comeback, but it was just a little bit too late. And, you can face, if he would have won this game, he would have got a lot of the glory. So today he deserves the blame. But they had a lot of miscues. You could point to so many plays in this game, the miscues throughout the game. I know I'm going to let Vaughn go to that because he's always really good at going through each part of the game. But I just wanted to say, man, Patrick Mahomes is coming. It's crazy to say he's been to already 5 Super Bowl appearances now. And he's going to have a chance for his 3rd ring. So that's going to be pretty crazy in his young career. And, yeah, it's tough to say these great quarterbacks in AFC, or so many. We can go down the line with the Bengals and Joe Burrow, who got injured, who didn't even get a chance this year, and all so forth. That they might not get an opportunity to ever get a ring because this man is walking on their side, on that side of the field. And he might stop the Niners again twice to get a ring. So we're going to have to see, man. I just wanted to give more the Chiefs more love. And you can look at it as the Ravens did bad here and there. And, they fumbled the bag being the number 1 seed and, all things of that nature. But in realistic expectations, they were in the last year. They were in the divisional round. They took a 1 step forward now. They're in the AFC. Like Lamar Jackson said, I know the expectations was Super Bowl, but in my eyes, they had a great season still. And next year they have a chance to bang at the bowl. They're not really like the Bills, who have been really knocking on the AFC Championship door multiple times now. So at the end of the day, you got to slay the king, and no one slayed Patrick Mahomes. So it's gonna be tough.
So Toddy, you went with the Ravens, didn't you? Did you go Chiefs?
I went Chiefs.
Chiefs. So you also went Chiefs. So let's swing into you next. What were your thoughts? Because you knew coming in the Chiefs were going to get it done. So what were your initial thoughts coming from this game?
2-0 on the weekend, leading the playoff poll. So looks like I'm going to win. When it matters most, when the playoffs come, when the game slows down, the boy's going to step up. Just going to the game, the Ravens ended up getting the ball first. I think the Chiefs deferred. They end up stopping them on the first drive, and that kind of like took the energy out of M&T Bank Stadium. And then Mahomes kind of just bing, bang, boom. When on their first drive, they drive down the field and score. So that was kind of like, okay, like This is not good. And then Lamar responds with his insane run around, avoid sack, 40-yard bomb to Zay Flowers. And I'm like, oh shit! Like this game is gonna be probably the game of the day. This is gonna be one of those duels. I'm thinking that it's going to be, Mahomes, Josh Allen in the playoffs a couple of years ago. I think it was 2021. But it was more of a defensive battle. After that, after both of those drives, both defenses kind of start to settle in. The Chiefs aren't really able to get Pacheco involved in the ground game a lot because that Ravens defensive front is the best in the league probably. So I don't even think, better teams in the run game in the NFL nobody could really run on the Ravens this whole year. And I feel like that's one of the Ravens' strong suits on defense, and that gives them the edge on the back end. I thought the Chiefs also won the turnover battle. Obviously, the Zay Flowers at the 1-yard line when he's trying to score. People are going to also complain about him in the taunting call. But at the end of the day, it's football. I don't know if that should be a flag in that situation, but I get it at the same time because he kind of was standing over him and like dancing over him, doing a whole bunch of extra shit at the end of it. So get the taunting penalty. So instead of being like at like the 10-yard line, they're at like the 25 or something like that. But they end up still getting within striking distance, and Zay Flowers ends up fumbling. Lamar has a really bad pick in the end zone to Isaiah Likely. I think there was a stat about Mahomes not having an interception in the last 7 playoff games that he's played in. So it's basically, if you turn the ball over against Mahomes in the playoffs, you're probably going to lose. Just going back to the Bills game last week, after I bet on the Bills to win, -2.5, and they end up losing at home, I'm just like, damn, like how is Mahomes going to lose? Because I feel like that was the team that was supposed to beat them. And I get the Ravens were having the better year, this, that, and the third. But I'm like, if we're looking at it from a standpoint of who is the best player in the league, I think most of us will agree that it's Patrick Mahomes. So you could just go
all of us
when the playoffs started from the wild card weekend, we all look at everybody in the playoffs currently. We're like, who is the best player in the playoffs right now? I guarantee you all 4 of us would have been like, it's probably Patrick Mahomes. Because
don't speak for me.
Yeah. Kevin would have said Jalen Hurts because
man, like I said, don't speak for the 4 of us, dog. Who I'm rocking with.
Mahomes is the best player on the planet. Ain't no questions asked. Come on, no bullshit around, kid.
It just kind of comes down to like you're looking at Mahomes' like all-time stats. He has the same amount of playoff wins as John Elway and Peyton Manning. I'm going to say that again. Patrick Mahomes at the age of 28 has the same amount of playoff wins as John Elway, Peyton Manning. 2 of those guys are considered one of the best quarterbacks to ever play this game, and he's already done it at the age of 28. So it's kind of like, how are you going to bet against this guy now? Him being able to go on the road is adding another element to his legacy. He's never been on the road before, but he's been to 6 AFC championships back to back. And he proved it last week that he's able to go on the road in the cold. Doesn't matter. Okay, can you do it again against the best overall team probably in the NFL in the Ravens? And he marches into M&T Bank Stadium. You got freaking Ray Lewis out there coming out, doing his dance. You got Terrell Suggs coming out there. Like, these are Hall of Fame players.
Talking Odell.
Odell, this, that, and the third. And he walks in there completely unfazed and gets the job done. I thought their offense got a little bit stagnant. Like, the Ravens were able to generate stops in this game. It's just that the offense got a little too pass happy and didn't really stick with the run game. And I felt that was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing guys like Gus Edwards get pretty good chunk plays early on in the game, and him not really be able to see that many touches throughout the game was kind of mind-boggling. And you're kind of wondering, why is Lamar Jackson dropping back this amount of times and not really getting him involved in the run game? Because we did see Lamar, have a couple of good chunk plays with his legs. And you would have liked to see that implemented more in the offensive scheme for the Ravens, and that maybe would have, created a different outcome. But Most Raven fans are going to look at it as, oh, the refs sold us. We didn't get called this way. I'm like, how are you not getting calls at home? Like, what sense does that make? And they're going to also go back to the Zay Flowers touchback play that happened, which would have tied the game, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. The Chiefs don't turn the ball over. Travis Kelce looks like the Travis Kelce of old. I guess he just waited
This
all
defense
this time.
is for real.
I guess he just waited all this time to kind of show up in the playoffs. And, I mean, he showed up. Rashee Rice showed up in a big way. The defense was, like I said, creating turnovers. You're seeing Chris Jones. They're getting off the field on third down, like 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. You're seeing that the Chiefs defense was able to generate stops time in and time again. And the Ravens just weren't able to put up points at a consistent basis. So, yeah, man, this Chiefs team, they were able to win a playoff game against the Baltimore Ravens, who before going into this game, everybody pretty much had as the best team in the league. They were able to go in and hold that Ravens team to 10 points. Team that just put up 34 points the previous week. So, yeah, this is a different type of Chiefs team that we're normally accustomed to seeing, because usually they're a high-powered offense, usually used to scoring. But we kind of said that about the Chiefs team last year, and they were fucked around and got in the Super Bowl and beat the Eagles. So this Chiefs team is a little different as well, and I don't think they're as high-powered as they have been in the past, but they're able to just get the job done because they got the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, man. To see Patrick Mahomes go and do it again, Gary and Toddy really hammered in on that. So I'm going to really try to focus more on the Ravens aspect. So I'm going to give you a fun fact. For 19 weeks, I'm going to give you the Ravens rushes by running back. Week 1, 24. Week 2, 21. Week 3, 22. Week 4, 21. 19, 24, 18, 23, 27, 15, 21, 22, 15, 30, 19, 25, 17, 31. How many times did the running back run the ball in the AFC Championship game? 6 times. Toddy mentioned it. This team got one-dimensional. It was a 3rd and 1 opportunity, and Lamar's back there like he's patting the ball 4 or 5 times. Like, this is game on the line. Run the ball.
He's gonna out the window. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude, number 1 seed. A defense won the Triple Crown first year under new coach Todd Monken. You were expecting such a show out of Lamar Jackson. We knew coming in that they really didn't have the receiving weapons. And if you take out those 2 bombs from Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson's passing game looks very subpar. He wasn't really able to get the ball running on the ground. He only ran 8 times for 54 yards with a long of 21. But Lamar Jackson looked nervous back there. They had it for a while, but maybe Gary mentioned it, when you come on the road and get the ball and score, the whole stadium was like, oh, shit. Is it happening to us this time? We've seen it in Buffalo. We've seen it in Cincinnati. Is it our turn? Is it our turn for Lamar to beat us? Or not Lamar, Patrick to beat us? And it was. Isaiah Pacheco, man, 24 carries for 68 yards. And like Gary mentioned, Travis Kelce showed up. The last couple of weeks, he's kind of been undershowing, and Rashee Rice has really been that number 1 guy. And a couple of weeks ago, Gary said that if this offense can get another guy going, they're going to be unstoppable. Rashee Rice, 8 catches for 46 yards. Travis Kelce, 11 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown. And that touchdown on Kyle Hamilton, all week we were told on all the talking heads, Get Up, ESPN, First Take, Kyle Hamilton had shut down all the tight ends he's played against. Every big-name tight end, he's held them to under 55 yards. Well, let me tell you something. Travis Kelce, the dude who just passed Jerry Rice's all-time catches record, yeah, he's not one of them. Travis Kelce turned back the time clock and turned out to show out. There were a lot of plays that Travis Kelce made. There was a 3rd down and 6. Travis Kelce makes a huge catch. The sideline pass to his knees. Kyle Hamilton all over him.
A little flicker he threw out, I think, end of the second quarter. Mahomes did. That was tough.
Caught it out of the backfield. He pumped it. He was going to throw it. I said, oh, shit. The Chiefs are not playing. This defense is coming out to play. McDuffie, Janarius Sneed are really showing that they're coming to play. Chris Jones has this defensive line playing out of this world. This defense turned Lamar Jackson to one-dimensional. All we heard in there when the Chiefs were coming in before the game saying, if you make Lamar throw, we're going to have a good chance. And that's what they did. They didn't let the running backs run. They didn't let the quarterback throw. And all I remember was Lamar Jackson threw a pass. It gets deflected. I'm looking all over the screen, and I see Lamar take off. And I said, Alyssa, there's no way in
That was
hell.
kind of
I thought he was going to score a touchdown. I was like, I have an anytime bet. Is this going to count? Like, I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen if he would have scored that. But Lamar Jackson left it all on the line. But this Chiefs defense was just too much. Throughout the whole Mahomes era, it's been the dominant offense. It's been when a play need to be made, Patrick Mahomes is going to step up and make that play. But this defense, like Toddy said, 10 points. So a team that just put up 34 points the last week. This offense did not score a single point in the second half. This defense held it down for him, and this defense looks really scary. So I'm going to swing it to you next, Gary. What you got?
No, I was going to perfect little pick. I got a stat for you right here, Kev. Right here.
Yeah.
Since week 14 versus the Bills in the second half, Chiefs haven't allowed more than 7 points. Literally 6-7-3, 6-0-7-3. That's what people have been scoring in the second half versus defense. So, like, I don't really want to get – I know you said Lamar Jackson got nervous. I don't know if I agree with that, Kev, because I do feel like a lot of people put a lot of pressure for this team to win at home as they should have. Like, these 4 losses they had, we look back in the season, they weren't – none of the game, they have not got dominated all year. They got bullied a little bit this game, but they didn't get dominated and slapped in the face like let's remember a Cowboys or something like that, you know what I'm saying, who, basically get shellacked, not looking at themselves as much in the playoffs. So I do feel like it's a learning lesson for this team right here. I feel like they're going to come back next year and be better and be on a mission because, these 2 takeaways, they didn't these 2 turnovers they had basically, would cost them a game, and them just knowing next year, like, all right, this defense, is something to handle. We all know if Patrick Mahomes is going to come and do his thing no matter where he's at. So we got to, stay our identity. Like you guys mentioned already, the rush yards you already mentioned, when they got put back, they're like, we're not going to, it's kind of right there, kind of test you right there. Like, are you going to stick to your identity or are you not? And they didn't, they got to their identity. And it was kind of a little bit weird to see because, like I keep mentioning, I love Lamar Jackson. He's one great, like that play you mentioned, Kev, it was like, top 10 highlights, all that type of stuff. And like a couple of times I thought he was going to be out the window and gone. I know he was waiting to see if someone opens up because that's how they've been doing all year this year. Waited and waited, and he scrambles a little bit, he gets that big play action hit. But sometimes, we're used to him just getting those, especially that 3rd and 1. I was shocked he didn't get that from his legs. Shocked. So, there's a couple learning lessons they're going to have. But like we mentioned, like Patrick Mahomes in their defense, that's why I've been saying all season long that they give him the recipe that he never had before. That's why I think they're going to go back-to-back and win this championship. And I think Vaughn mentioned them in 6-0 since the Bengals playoff win. And literally, he's 11-0 in TD to interception. He hasn't threw a TD since that game in the playoff. So that's literally been 6-7 games. And we already mentioned the first thing, he's literally winning percentage in playoffs. This is literally one of the best playoff performers ever. Literally first in winning percentage, TD interception, 39-7 TD to interception in the playoffs. It's crazy stuff, bro. This man's putting up. And I know, it's not like a Chiefs fan here, but you just got to love greatness, man. When you see it shining through bright, that's why I don't want to really knock too much of the Ravens today. I just feel like it's all praise ready the Chiefs handle business, even though they got shut out in the second half. I just feel like he knows you got a great defense, so he's not trying to do too much to, cost that. If he does any 1 or 2, if Mahomes throws a turnover here, then, we can maybe see a different game because, they weren't humming and stuff at the end. The Baltimore was starting to get a little bit of their way momentum shift. So, it was a great game. And yeah, we're going to have to see you in the bowl time, baby.
And I wouldn't be the Eagles fan in me to not come out here and mention Andy Reid. Andy Reid, arguably one of the greatest coaches of all time. 44% of his coaching career has been in a championship game. His record is 5-6. Unfortunately, 4 of those L's did come from Philadelphia, from our 4 NFC Conference championship runs that we weren't able to finish out. Second most appearances by a coach. And the craziest stat that I think that came from this game is Peyton Manning's record in the playoffs is 14-13. Patrick Mahomes is 14-3. He is 1 game away from passing Peyton Manning, and he played in fewer playoff games. Peyton Manning's record was 14-13. Patrick Mahomes is 14-3. And this is Patrick Mahomes not starting for a year. So I know there's a lot of people out there that say, what if? We don't know because he didn't play. But it's looking pretty scary. So this team is led by a great coach. They have a great defensive coordinator who's been there for 5 years. And like I mentioned, every other season it's been, what can this offense do to put them over the top? But this defense is coming out and showing that they're nothing to slack about. So I'm really looking forward to this next game, and we will give our picks next week just to let you guys know. We're going to wait for Shaun to be here. It wouldn't be right for us to make our Super Bowl picks without our 2 Niner fans. But, we're going to wait for them to be here. So I was talking to Tony before the show, and I said we only have two topics. What's a way to kind of spice things up? So I came up, and I figured out a way to spice this up. We're going to do a fact or cap in the middle of the episode. And Toddy, you have to go last because Gary and I have to take this one first. So, Gary, I'm going to swing it to you first. Fact or cap?
What is it, guys?
Brock Purdy is the best quarterback in the NFC.
Oh, my God, bro. This is the biggest cap ever. Why are you bringing this up, Vaughn? Okay. See, I was going to do this way later, and I feel like I got to do it now. Like, someone in my group chat, I got like 4 group chats, especially all these Niner fans, just like this, giving me this look. At least, this is even worse than I thought it was. Man, I feel disrespect. This isn't even on the ticker. Kev, what are we doing here? Literally, someone says he top 3 in the NFL or top 3 something. I'm like, he ain't topped out. I literally read a whole paragraph to him. I don't even, me. I don't be typing paragraphs, guys. Y'all know me. I like to talk on the phone and, facial recognition and that. You know what I'm saying? But I had to get on him because he literally said that, first of all, he has the most pressure or most hated quarterback. First of all, I was like, all right, I have 5 QBs I can name that are more hated than him. Aaron Rodgers, both of the Wilsons, and you can throw like 3 other more people on there before you even talk about Brock Purdy being hated. Second of all, man, oh man, he's going to jump the gun everybody. I know the key word actually right here where Kev actually kind of got me is NFC because for a second I thought it was the NFL. So maybe I'll give him that. I won't be getting on you too much, Kev, right now for bringing this question up. But no, he's not the best QB in the NFC. We can point to quarterback basically who really was across the line, Jared Goff, who played as probably good as him in this year, and plus stats wise, who had a good AFC. Let me just look at the quarterback. I really gotta look because hold on now. All right. I'm not okay. Dak had a horrible outing, so we're gonna put him in. Okay, my bad. See, this is off top of the dome, so that's why I look at the quarterbacks and things. There's a quarterback within this room. I don't gotta go too far to say he's not the best QB. Literally, Kevin probably taking your take, but Mr. Jalen Hurts, I'm not taking him over Jared. I'm taking Jalen Hurts over Brock Purdy. I'm taking who else? See, that's not the. I'm sorry. I'm taking Mr. Matthew Stafford over Brock Purdy. Okay, who else I got? That's so far. Okay, and then I might take now who had a pretty good playoff run, who actually had a better week than him last week, in Jordan Love, who barely lost that game as well last week, maybe over Brock Purdy. See, the problem with this question is, what you guys are actually have some validity to, what United fans, is the NFC. Because if we had the whole quarterback, if we had a NFL list, my guy might not break the top 10 if I start going through the AFC quarterbacks. So we're going to give, I guess, Brock Purdy the grace that he can actually maybe knock on the door as one of the best QBs in the NFC, but that's not saying much because if you rank the NFC QBs themselves, none of them are really making maybe top 5, and that's the only quarterback maybe top 5 QB in the NFL from the NFC is maybe Jalen Hurts at this moment. Sorry, kid, he might not even make the top 5 after this year's performance if we're going off this year. So at the end of the day, that's a cap. It's a cap every which way you want to split it. You want to split NFC, you want to split the whole NFL. It's just a cap. I just feel like, we don't want to see. Now it sounds like I'm hating. I wanted to give him love today, Kevin Vaughn. I wanted to give him love. He proved, he had a good second half. He proved back-to-back weeks. He's down and out, and he came back. He played perfect in both these games to make them have a comeback in a sense. Because if he would have made any mistakes, like a helmet catch gets converted or something like that, then instead of going to IU touchdown, basically, maybe it goes a different way. But he stayed the course. He did, and he came out on top, and his numbers prove it. And you can't say nothing about that. So is he a good quarterback, solid quarterback, another Pat quarterback? Yes. But is he the best in anything in the NFL? No, sir, Bob. Sorry about that.
All right, so that's the energy I needed you to bring today, Gary. So for the audio-only listeners, Toddy was itching, zoomed all on the camera, eyes locked into Gary. So, Toddy, I'm going to pass it to you next because the people want to hear this. Fact or cap, Brock Purdy is the best quarterback in the NFC.
It's
They would have been your funeral. Is this close?
It's close.
It's close. Your funeral.
I'd say I think he's better than Jalen Hurts. I'll take him over Jalen Hurts right now. Jalen Hurts had one good year. He has yet to prove that he is a consistent quarterback. Brock Purdy went to the NFC Championship in year 1 and in year 2. I think who's the guy who's better than him in the NFC? I'd probably say Matthew Stafford, just giving off his pure arm talent. I think the Niners did at one point in time try to get Matthew Stafford, and it was kind of up to him and the Ravens, and then somehow Sean McVay was just in Cabo randomly at the same time as Matthew Stafford, and the deal got done before the trip was over. I'm taking him over Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott is a guy who's proven that he's unable to get it done in the playoffs. Brock Purdy has in only 2 years of starting. I think Jared Goff is somewhere on this list just based off the year that he had currently. He's proven to be able to get to multiple NFC Championship games with 2 different head coaches, 2 different coordinators. Trying to think who else is in the NFC. Jordan Love is promising, but I just don't. His numbers aren't up there as far as one of the guys. Baker, yeah, he's definitely on there.
Okay.
Won a playoff game against Kevin's beloved Eagles. I don't know. I mean, guys I would have on this list is probably so Matthew Stafford, Brock, Goff.
We fucked up Kyle Murray.
Come on now. Kyler, when healthy.
I know you're not scared of him, but he's
when healthy, hasn't really proven to be able to do it in the playoffs.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you're just going off numbers, everybody can box score watch, but if you're actually watching the games and like
he got some
guys that are making plays, I think Brock Purdy's on the list because he's proven in multiple games in the playoffs to be able to get it done. The only thing that Stafford kind of has over him is definitely the Super Bowl. And I feel like he's a little bit more talented than Brock Purdy. But as far as just processing speed, limiting his turnovers, getting guys absolute playmaking, I think Brock Purdy is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. As of right now, I think he's second in the NFC to Matthew Stafford. I think Brock Purdy is better than Jalen Hurts right now. Jalen Hurts has yet to prove. I think Jalen Hurts has yet to prove that he can be good without Shane Steichen as his offensive coordinator. He had one good year, MVP caliber year last year when Shane Steichen was his offensive coordinator. And then we saw Shane Steichen leave, go to the Colts, and he was able to prove that he was able to get freaking Gardner Minshew literally a game away to a playoff berth, which was insane after his star rookie quarterback ends up going down in like week 4. So, I'll say this is a Cap. Kev almost got me with this one because, he tried to, pull a fast one, and he likes to do these types of things. Catch you off guard off the dome, but
almost did.
I think Purdy's better than Dak. I think he's better than Goff. Kirk is. I think I would take Kirk over him just due to the age thing, but Kirk is, Mr. Consistency. He's proven time and time again that he's able to get, multiple 4,000-yard seasons, 30-plus touchdowns in a season. So Kirk is a guy that you definitely have in there as well. But I'll say this is a cap that probably Matthew Stafford is probably the best.
Perfect, Toddy. I'm happy you came on here and kept it real with them because that's what people want to know.
Yeah.
So, factor cap. Brock Purdy is the best quarterback in the NFC. Absolutely fucking not. I told you, the Lions are going to catch the ball. This conversation would have been out of the window if the Packers would have caught the ball. So let's just break it down. If for someone to be the best quarterback in the NFC, to be the best quarterback in any division, I just don't think it could be a game manager. It has to be somebody who's going to go out there and put the team on their back. And yes, Toddy, I watched the game last night.
He's and that's what Brock Purdy
did in the second half. But I'm not going to go off of 2 quarters and say he's the best quarterback in the NFC. We have the Matthew Stafford of the world. We have the Jalen Hurts, the Dak Prescotts.
Jalen Hurts is a non-factor.
Top 4? Yes, 1,000%. He's definitely a top 4 quarterback in the NFC. But I'm not going to go ahead and say Brock Purdy's better. And I know you're saying Jalen Hurts this, Jalen Hurts that. Let me give you the stats of the quarterback, the best quarterback statistically in Super Bowl history. 15 carries, 70 yards, 27 of 38 for 304 yards and 1 touchdown. And he scored 3 touchdowns on the run. So I mean, what you're judged by what you do in the biggest game, right? People count rings and what you do when you get there, right?
That was last year.
So Brock Purdy's gonna have to go out there and absolutely tear Mahomes up for me to say that he's better than Jalen Hurts. Because when you think about it, there's only been 3 quarterbacks to go toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes.
One's retired.
That's Tom Brady,
One's retired.
Mhm.
Joe Burrow,
That's it.
and
Mhm.
Jalen Hurts. So is Brock Purdy gonna be added to that list in 2 weeks? That's all I'm saying. We've seen what he's done. And, like Gary said, I don't want to talk a hate. I want to come on here and show love. Brock Purdy did a lot of things that I liked on Sunday, besides the first half. Got a couple go balls.
Top 4 or 5? Where is Purdy?
Oh, I got
Where's
a list
Brady?
right here. Who's the best quarterback in the NFC? Matthew Stafford. Who's the second best quarterback? Jalen Hurts. Who's the third best quarterback? Brock Purdy. Who's the fourth best quarterback?
Okay.
Dak Prescott. Who's the fifth best quarterback? This was hard. 5 was hard because I really wanted to go Baker. But I know Kyler didn't play the full year, but what Kyler showed and just the talent alone, it's hard to put Kyler in my top 5. So Kyler would come in 5th for me. But that is my top 5. So this unfortunately is a cap because Brock Purdy can't be the best quarterback in the NFC.
So you saw Jalen Hurts play this year, and you think he's the second best quarterback in the NFC?
Yeah. 1,000%.
Delusion.
1,000%.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy you said that because you're saying I'm going to take Jalen Hurts off of one good year. Brock Purdy didn't have this kind of a season last year, so you're taking him on this season.
He didn't play
it was a season and a half. I get it. That's fine. That's cute. Asterisks. Jalen Hurts puts down the numbers, the stats. You can say Jalen Hurts led his team to the Super Bowl. Toddy, I'm going to ask you this question. Did Brock Purdy take you guys to the Super Bowl? Did he lead you to the Super Bowl? Yes or no? I don't want no analytics, nothing. Fact or cap. Did he lead you to the Super Bowl?
This year or last year?
This year.
Yes.
You didn't go to the Super Bowl last year.
Yes.
So he led you. He's the reason you're going to the Super Bowl, is what you're saying. In front of the audience. He's the reason you're going to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Well, he's the reason?
Absolutely.
Man, I guess I'd be damned.
So we had Sam Darnold as our quarterback.
CMC's the MVP of the team. Are we not going to say that today or not?
I mean, like my dad. Jimmy Garoppolo took you to the Super Bowl.
Jimmy Garoppolo didn't take us to the Super Bowl. We did not win because of Jimmy Garoppolo. We won in spite of him. We are winning games because of Brock Purdy.
Thank you, Uncle Manny. Fucking preach. Kevin is right on. I know Niner fans want to say it. I know you want to jump the gun.
I know Shaun wish he was here right now. He needs some back.
But there's only been 3 quarterbacks to go toe-to-toe with Mahomes. Now, if Purdy does that, is he a top 2 quarterback in the NFC?
What is toe-to-toe? Toe-to-toe, like he's
toe-to-toe is doing just as good or better.
You mean, but you lost though. So I don't. You could say they went toe-to-toe, but he lost.
I don't think it's the same thing. Only time to beat him is Tom Brady and Joe Burrow.
Tom Brady and Joe Burrow are the only 2 people that went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes.
Then Josh Allen went toe-to-toe
so you're
too.
telling me after that performance
Josh Allen
last year,
lost.
you weren't
I'm saying, but we're throwing Jalen Hurts in there.
We're going toe-to-toe. Then Josh Allen's in there. You can. Oh, Lamar went toe-to-toe.
Toe-to-toe.
Playing against them.
You can't go toe-to-toe with somebody 3 times.
If you play against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, you're going toe-to-toe against him.
That's not true.
I guess that's what that means because he's trying to put it on. Oh, yeah. Jalen Hurts went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes, but he lost. What are we talking about?
But
I was thinking that.
So you're telling me I'm wrong that Jalen Hurts went out there and looked like the best quarterback on the field because not only did he have more yards than him, he had more passer rating.
Hold on,
go
one
more
time.
completions. So
what did you say, Kev?
This goes back to their politics. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes. Yes, this is not basketball. It's not a one-on-one thing. But when you just look at stats, I know everyone say the rushing yards, the tush push. Fuck the rush yards. Let's throw the rush yards out of here. He threw more yards. He had more completions, and he had a better passer rating.
And a loss.
I'm sorry, Jalen Hurts didn't get to cover Juju and not pull on his back. God damn it. Let's keep it above.
He's hurt still.
Jalen Hurts went out there and looked fucking stupid. Let's call it what it is. Call it what it is. There has not been, besides those 3 quarterbacks, tell me another quarterback you saw playing against Patrick Mahomes that he walked off the field and said,
I'm not gonna lie, Josh Allen put some big numbers up against Mahomes too.
I said one is retired, and Tom Brady, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, and Joe Burrow, who had to beat.
They actually beat him
to get to the Super Bowl. Like he went through Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts did not go through Patrick Mahomes.
Let me paint you a picture, Toddy.
Had a great
game. Let me paint you a picture.
Yeah, you can say both of those guys had great games. Jalen
Brock
Hurts and
Purdy throws
Josh
for
Allen.
350 yards and 4 touchdowns.
You could
Patrick
say
Mahomes
Josh
threw for
Allen went
100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Who was the better quarterback?
The one that won
But the Chiefs win. Who was the better quarterback?
You could argue Trevor Lawrence went toe to toe with.
Oh, see, so now it's if. I'm telling you something that actually happened.
In a loss, yes, that actually happened.
But I'm saying, so we're going to take 3 points and say that it was
He
a
played great in
toe?
the Super Bowl, but lost.
What did I say in my first line? The greatest quarterback stat line in the Super Bowl history.
Kev
Tony,
loved
how
the
many
box
Super Bowls
score
have there
watch. That's
been?
the only thing
How
he
many
likes to
Super
do.
Bowls have there been?
He likes
You
the
don't
box
even
score
know.
watch.
Hella. How many quarterbacks? Hella. None of them put up Jalen Hurts numbers. That's all I'm saying. So back to the original question. This is a cap. So we also have another factor cap. And Todd's smirking because he knows what's coming. We're talking about it all day. So Gary,
what is it,
I'm
guys?
going to
I'm
swing it to you first. Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar Jackson. Factor cap.
Bro, who was first? Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, Gary's first. This is
God.
Jalen. Let me make sure I read this correctly. Answer correct. Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar Jackson. Cap, I've been saying this, Cap. I ain't gonna lie to you. Before last year, when we were putting the home for Jalen Hurts as a top 5 quarterback, you can bring the stats up all you want. I don't have the stats obviously on me because you bought this at the top of the dome, so I don't have the stats in front of me. But I will say, both quarterbacks are great in their own way, and I hate to put them up against each other and talk down on either one because both of them have done things in their own way that's really great. But I would say Lamar Jackson has done it longer, and he's obviously going to get his second MVP now. So, he has that in his back pocket as well. He's been great since the day he's been stepped on his field. So I would say he's greater in that way as well. And, yeah, I think playoff-wise, you can say maybe Jalen Hurts because of his magical run last year might have better numbers in a way. But at the same time, I feel like throwing-wise, there's not too much of a difference. Obviously, athletically-wise, we all know Lamar Jackson does magic in the athletic game in terms of running the ball and creating those magical plays. Jalen Hurts does that as well. So, this is a pretty neck and neck one. I'm not going to lie. In my case, I just feel like Lamar Jackson really can't knock him for the last 2 years because he did end on an injury. So really didn't get to see him full effect. And this is right here. This is the first year, he got to finish the season. And we see where they landed in the AFC Championship game. So this is a tough one. This is probably not a good time to bring it up, Kev. I'm not going to lie because how Mr. Jalen Hurts ended wasn't really magical this year. So, the weekend, I think Lamar Jackson has been in the league, I think, 1 year longer than him, maybe 2 years, maybe longer than him. But, I would say that overall, you might look at the numbers, might be close, might not be. I'm not sure because I wasn't able to see that. But just by my eye test and what I've watched so far in their careers, they're both great quarterbacks. They're both for sure top 10, maybe even top 5, both of them, if we look at it in a year from now. But at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson has 2 MVPs under his belt and has played great and has really, changed the game in a way that we have never seen before on both ends of the spectrum in terms of throwing and especially obviously being magical in the run game. No one's ever been like him ever. So simple as that on that one.
So I'm going to go next because I know where Tony's going to go. So factor cap, Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar Jackson. This is a fact. Let me tell you why. You know what quarterback gets dragged through the mud for their playoff record? Dak Prescott. What Dak Prescott's playoff record is?
But Dak has
Dak
way, I
had
don't know,
2
but I know it's 1 and
EVs.
1 and 6.
So he's 2-5.
But he ain't in the nowhere near.
What is
he's not
Lamar
in the same
Jackson's
realm.
record in the playoffs? Hold on. What is Lamar Jackson's record in the playoffs?
2-5, but what? But how many years though, Kev?
Let me break it down for you. Let me just go ahead and peel this onion back nice and slow. Sit back. Let me give you some numbers. Lamar Jackson, 67.2 completion rate, 3,678 yards, 8 yards per attempt, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. But wait, Lamar's known for running, correct? 1,821 rushing yards, 5.5 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, he's known as a runner, right? But Lamar Jackson is the tier 1 runner. So let me just give you the running stats first. 605 yards. Yes, he has 400 less carries or 400 less yards. He has more yards per carry at 6, 15 touchdowns. So let's give you the passing numbers. 65.4 completion rate, Lamar. 3,859 passing yards, Jalen. 7.2 yards per attempt, Jalen. 23 touchdowns. Lamar had one more. And then, yes, Jalen Hurts had the pick. So off of those numbers, it's not really that close. Yes, Lamar Jackson had one more passing touchdown.
That's not pretty even.
Even? 389
even.
passing yard difference?
Yeah, but the way you also got to know, though, he really gets like walking touchdowns at the goal line. They push him in for like 10,
That's
20
why I
of them.
said we can throw the rushing out of here. We can just compare the passing numbers, and it's not even close. It's not even close. Yes, we can sit here and say Lamar Jackson has 2 MVPs as of today, January 29th. He has 1 MVP. So let's run it as the truth. He has 1 MVP, and he's the playoff choker. So all I know is we killed Dak for being 2-5. But we're gonna come in here and say Lamar Jackson being 2-5 is okay. Yes, he's hurt. I get it. But who do I want to go out there and lead my team? It's Jalen Hurts. He's showed that he can get his team to the Super Bowl. What has Lamar Jackson done?
This is too much Jalen Hurts love, Kev, for this. The choker. Hold on. Choker. I ain't gonna lie. Choker word got me tripping because you know why?
Bro,
did you see the game versus Tampa?
Everyone's going.
What was the score versus Tampa? What is he going? What was the score in Tampa? Who was that?
All I'm saying is the numbers don't lie. You want to bring up playoff numbers?
Jalen Hurts scored the Tampa game. That's a choke job. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because at the end of the day, they lost to 7 to Mahomes.
Gary, just hear this podcast. Read it to the audio-only listeners and the fans that are watching. What is it?
32-9, Kev. That was bad. It's a bad time to bring Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to lie. You shouldn't have waited until preseason.
I don't have to wait for shit. What's the name of the podcast?
That's all politics.
So your politics, he has 2 MVPs. He was hurt. Jalen Hurts was hurt. What MVP?
That's not politics. That's MVP.
He has 1 MVP.
Okay, pending one.
January 29th. Pending one MVP.
All right, wait a week.
2-time MVP. Scored 7 points. You want me to take this guy over Jalen Hurts?
You guys scored 9.
Went toe to toe against Patrick Mahomes.
You guys scored 9. You guys scored 9. I think.
Lamar Jackson had the game, and what did he do, bro? He's back there patting the ball like he's Patrick Mahomes.
Versus
know
Baker.
Your role. Toddy, what did Gene say to us in high school? Know your personnel. That's not you, big boy. That's not your game. So for everybody out here listening, it's not even close. Jalen Hurts will never win an MVP. If Jalen Hurts plays 17 games next year, Gary, does he win the MVP last year? Yes or no?
Mahomes
yes or no. Just yes or no. I'm saying if Jalen Hurts played all the games, so you still take Mahomes.
Yeah,
I'm
Mahomes.
happy you said that because I have the numbers from Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts last year. You want me to run those off for you?
He proved it in the bowl. He proved it in the Super Bowl. He proved it in the playoffs.
But the MVP is
why are we making this about Jalen Hurts? My God does not deserve to be in this conversation today.
Isn't the MVP award a regular season award? So what does it matter in the playoffs?
Kev, he did not deserve to be in the conversation today.
If that was the case,
he did not deserve to be in the conversation.
That's all I'm saying.
Go ahead,
I wanted this to come to the world, so I brought it to the world. So, Cotty, tell us why you think Lamar Jackson is better than Jalen Hurts. Fact or fact?
Talent is one of them, like just pure talent. Lamar has proven in multiple seasons, despite the coordinator, despite the coaching staff, he's able to win multiple MVPs. We've only seen
Jalen Hurts MVP. We cannot say multiple because today he has won 1. That's all I'm saying. You guys are talking about tomorrow when he wins it. Today he has 1. So let's call it spade a spade.
You would want Kevin as a fan.
I love Kevin.
How
he's rocking and he's rocking.
He will go to hell and high water. He will jump through multiple hoops. He will argue you till you're blue in the face.
He's rocking with you.
That's why I love Kevin. He's a loyal fan. He's gonna come out here and rock for his guy. Kevin, you can't say on how the season ended that Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar Jackson. Based on how this year ended,
because our defense couldn't tackle. We're saying Lamar Jackson is better.
You couldn't.
Are we comparing quarterback stats?
You couldn't.
Jalen Hurts doesn't play defense.
You couldn't score 10 points.
Jalen Hurts. What did Lamar Jackson do? I just told Gary he scored 7 points. And what are you showing him?
Versus Tampa versus the Chiefs.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, 10 points is 10 points, Gary. No matter who the fuck you have, who you.
Oh, it matters. We know the competition. We know.
Let's go back to last year. Who did the Eagles play in the playoffs?
First game was the Giants, and our second game was y'all week out.
Daniel Jones and the Giants. they beat Daniel Jones and the Giants. Congratulations. And then they beat the 49ers with no quarterback.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even bring that up.
Wow.
Who did Lamar just beat on this run?
CJ Stroud, Gary? Are you fucking kidding me?
You don't like you've always loved CJ Stroud. How you
Stroud
gonna pump him all year and not gonna like him
CJ
now?
Stroud is
Because
better
that's
than
not going to be a
Jalen
thing
Hurts
that
right
pumps him up over Jalen
CJ
Hurts
Stroud
because
is
he
better
he
than
won the
Jalen
best
Hurts
rookie
right
year?
now.
because he
Right
beat
now,
CJ Stroud and the
Oh.
fucking
CJ
Houston Texans
Stroud
that had the
is-
number
Repeat
2
that. That's
overall
a hot
pick.
take. Go ahead.
Jalen Hurts. CJ Stroud is
Repeat
better
that.
than Jalen Hurts right now.
Damn.
Right now,
You
he's
ain't pulled
better.
the
Now
numbers,
we're
or
off
you just get pulled out of your ass.
He's only got 1 year. He's only got 1
Oh,
year,
you
but
only got 1 year,
went,
Kevin.
but he
All
went-
you go off of.
but he went to the playoffs in his rookie year. I mean, rookie head coach, rookie everything. I don't know what you want me to do, but yeah, I'd rather have Lamar. There's a bunch of quarterbacks I'd rather take than Jalen Hurts right now. Jalen Hurts is Kevin. You're the one that always says this. It's a what have you done for me lately?
You
Did
do.
I get
You
that
do
from
say
last
that.
year?
What have
Or
you
did I
done
do that
for
from
me
this
lately,
year?
Lee?
Did I do
What
that from this year or last year?
what-
Because this
what
stats from
did-
this year
what
show that
happened-
Jalen Hurts is better. So what? That's exactly what I do. What have you done
What
for me
happened the
lately?
last time we saw Jalen Hurts?
Bro,
32
fuck
to
the
9
playoffs.
against Baker
All I'm
Mayfield
bringing
in
is
the playoffs.
numbers.
You were
Winning
just talking
is a
about
team
the
sport.
playoffs.
Winning
You
is
were
a
just
team
comparing
sport.
Lamar Jackson's playoff stats to Jalen Hurts' playoff stats.
No, I compared
What
to Dak
happened to Jalen
Prescott.
Hurts in the
And when I
playoffs the last
compared
time
to
we
Dak
saw him?
Prescott, it's because Dak gets drugged through the fucking mud. Yes or
He's a
no?
cowboy.
It doesn't
And
matter
he
who it is.
deserve
Dak
that. They
Prescott,
get
he's 25.
banged out.
People
They
drag
get
him through the
banged
fucking
out.
Dak
mud.
puts
He's
up
on the
It will
team
have
for 10
nothing to
years.
do with
in a
Lamar
regular
Jackson.
season and then proceeds to
Hold
choke
on.
in the playoffs. We get that, but Lamar Jackson, off of sheer talent alone, has proven that he's able to get the job done with low-level receivers before this season even happened. He's never had a Zay Flowers. He's never had an Odell Beckham Jr. But he's proven to win an MVP and get his team to the playoffs.
So is getting the
We've seen
job
that.
done just going to the playoffs?
No, you got to win the big dance, obviously.
So he didn't do that.
Neither
So
did Jalen Hurts.
so you
What
said
the
he got
fuck
the
are you
job
talking
done.
about?
What job did he get done? That's all I'm asking. I'm just going off of what you're telling me. You said he got the job done. What did he do? What job was done?
Empty stats against the Giants and the 49ers without a quarterback. And
See,
then
but
going up
that's where
against
you're getting me
Patrick
wrong, Toddy. I
Mahomes.
didn't mention a single
Kevin
stat from last
just-
season. This
Kevin
is all
just-
this year.
Kevin he likes to watch the box score. If you watch the games that we're playing, watch the games and tell me the last time we saw Jalen Hurts, what did he do?
When's the last time he
I'm
played good
not
this
looking at
season?
the
I'm not
box
gonna lie.
score. This is 17 weeks worth
Jalen
of
Hurts had one
stats.
good year.
And all you keep saying is, Kevin, you played against the Giants, you played against the Niners. I brought you stats up from the 23-24 season. I didn't even bring up last year. All I said was, here are Lamar's stats from this year, and here are Jalen's. And Jalen Hurts was
Were
better.
the W's
So
brought up?
this is called stats over politics, fellas. If you want to politic, that's fine. That's also in the count. That's also in the name. But if we're gonna go off the stats, it's obvious who had a better year. But one person
13
MVP
and
and one person fell off completely. Gary said he wasn't gonna be top 10, but one person won MVP with lesser numbers. Make that make sense to me.
Who?
Lamar Jackson. You just said I don't know if Jalen Hurts is gonna be top 10 after what we just saw, but Lamar
I
Jackson.
said, then I also said the same sentence, kid, that he could also crack the top 5. I said you could crack the
All
top
I'm
5.
saying is, all Tidy's rebuttal was what happened last year. I did not bring up one stat from last year. All I did was week 1 to 18, and I put that on a platter for you.
Playoff. This year's playoff performance.
No, all I brought that up for is because Dak gets dragged, but you're going to sit here and say
Dak, we
someone's
don't want to
better.
worry about Dak's not even this conversation. Dak's been in the league for 10, 15 years, it feels like. He fucking sucks. No hate against Dak. He's a great guy. Nice guy.
Gary,
He's
what does it all matter?
sometimes. Dak's
Just
not in
like
this
Toddy said,
conversation.
only thing that matters is the
He can't do
playoffs.
nothing.
So Gary,
And the-
Toddy said he got it done.
Okay.
Getting to the playoffs is getting it done. Fucking Kenny Pickett got it done, Toddy. The fuck are we talking about?
My guy, don't break my guy. Okay. My guy
Mac
didn't
Jones
do
went to the
it.
playoffs. Did Mac Jones get it done? That's what
Eagle
I'm saying.
fans
Just get to the
will
dance
say
and
you
getting it
are
done.
insane for thinking Jalen Hurts is better.
No, but he had a great performance
Eagle
last
fans will
week.
Eagle fans will tell you that. So I don't
Hey,
understand why you believe.
truth
I
is
can.
in the
I can lie to
pudding.
you. Von
When
says
this
it from in
factor
front of
cap
him. He
gets
says CJ
clipped,
Stroud
and we'll
over
see.
Jalen Hurts.
We will see when the
Depends-
factor cap
depends-
comes out, and we'll
Depends
go
on
from
we clip
there.
that. Depends on we
But-
clip that.
I wanted to mix it up a little bit because
That's crazy.
I got mixed up.
now Toddy
You got
gets to
mixed
come
up.
on here and talk his fucking shit. The 49ers beat the Lions
ahead.
34-31. So Toddy's going to
Take
come
your
up
dance,
here
Toddy. Go ahead.
and tell you guys A, B, C, and D. I'm going to keep it a complete stack with you. The Lions lost this game. The Niners didn't win. 17 points in the first half. In that locker room, let me tell you what the Lions looked at. They said, damn, my pregame fit gonna look good after this game and the interviews with this trophy. What happened the first possession? Pins down the fucking leg. Jamar Gibbs hasn't fumbled all season. All season. First fumble. What happens? And let me tell you what. The Lions came out there and did what I said they were going to do. I said this was the best running back duel in the NFL, and they went out there and did it. Last week, you guys got busted by Aaron Jones. This week, it was the Jamar Gibbs and Montgomery show. 3 rushing touchdowns in the first half. But let's talk about why they lost. Jared Goff. We got to give him a lot of credit for getting here. Like Toddy said, different coordinators, different staff, and he made it to the NFC Championship game. He missed 2 throws. Amon-Ra in the end zone, wide open, and he floated a pass to Laporta. Reynolds dropped 2 passes on fourth down, and everyone is saying, why did they go for a 4th down? On 4th and 3, they went for it 25 times this season and got it 20 times. 80% of the time, they're getting it. So Josh Reynolds makes that pass. We're on here singing a different tune. But I got to give credit to where credit is due. The Niners went up there and they did their thing. I have said since Brock Purdy took his first snap, game manager. And in that second half, he said, Kevin Dent, watch this. Man-to-man coverage, open in the middle. What is he doing? 5 rushes for 48 yards. I thought I was fucking watching Josh Allen out there. He was out there getting wiggly. I'm talking about he's like, fuck a dive. I'm getting as many yards as I can.
In the day.
So I have to come on here and do his thing. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of Niner fans in my DMs and messages saying, I know you saw that Brandon Ayuk catch. Let's talk about the nigga who let the ball hit him in the face mask. If he just deflect the ball, you don't got to catch, just deflect it. 3rd and 10. But what did he try to do? I don't think he tried to catch it. Because this man in week 10 didn't have a fucking job. And now he's in here in the NFC Championship game guarding Brandon Ayuk, 1,300 yards. All-pro, ABC and D. And what do? Your mama's at the game watching the game. What do? This is a pick. He said, oh, shit, he's not throwing this. He's not throwing this.
Oh, man.
What happened? Brandon Ayuk gets the ball. Get it on the
ding,
floor.
ding.
DMC rush it down. So, yes, I get it. Brock Purdy did his thing. But if that play doesn't happen, I don't know. But like Toddy said, if it was his 5th, I'd be drunk. But it's not. So before we swing it to the Niner fan, we'll swing it to you, Gary, because I know Toddy's going to probably talk for the rest of the hour. So let me get you a chance to get your shit off your chest because we're going to sit back and just watch. So what were your thoughts that the Niners beat the Lions 34-17, coming back from the biggest deficit in Kyle Shanahan's career at 17 points?
I actually kind of wanted to get off Vaughn. We're gonna I hope Vaughn you take a good victory lap for you and Shaun today. That's how far. I hope. All right,
he's speaking for all fans.
I hope so, man. Kev said it on the point. He took a lot of what I was gonna say too in terms of where I really thought the Lions blew it in the way. And that was my first thought. You can really you can just go through so many situations to this game that Kev just mentioned. The stats were they could have got 2 field goals in the second half to shut this thing down. Before the second half, he had the itch to go for the touchdown. Ended up hitting the field goal, which I thought was a great thing. I thought he was going to bring that momentum. That was momentum shift going into the halftime. Going up 17. And man, oh man, you got to give credit where credit was due. If you've been watching football as long as we've probably been watching football, people probably looking at us crazy like I know we're so young, but if you've been watching since a kid like I have been to, like you guys have been too, you just know when momentum starts shifting. And literally every single thing is going that way. And that's what it literally felt like slipping away, Vaughn, going for the Detroit Lions as my pick. And literally the 49ers, I'm like, and I told him after, bro. I switched. I was watching the game at my house first. At halftime, I go to his house. I look at my messages. I see the Cancun thing. Like, oh, get ready for Cancun. I was like, we might have messed up. We said it's too early because, God damn it, that's what happened. Like Kev mentioned, second half, blunder after blunder. Everyone's talking about today, obviously, the 6 points that, like I mentioned, they left on the field by not guaranteed points, like they always say. And Kev mentioned how, a majority of the year they've been, winning those situations. So I really don't want to knock the aggressiveness too much because always if they make those plays, everyone's talking about a whole different thing. But things that, were like in their control which they were, these guys are young. These guys are one of the youngest teams in the NFL too. And to make it to this point, and it showed in the biggest of ways, especially with with the drops like Kev mentioned, 2 big drops. And I was going to say Jared Goff being Jared Goff. I thought I was going to say that. But really, Kev, like you said, like you really can't say that too much. He had 2 bad iffy throws on the line. Like you said, floated the one to Laporta, another one in the back end missed. But majority of the game, man, he was doing pretty good. And, they didn't score in the second half. But you could see they weren't running the ball as much as they were in the first half, which obviously was one of the biggest run performances against the Kyle Shanahan team in the first half, as mentioned on the broadcast. So, everything, this is literally a tale of 2 halves. And, going to the Niners side, you got to give them credit because second half, Brock Purdy, Kev mentioned a couple lucky plays here, the Ayuk and things of that nature, but, he hit some dimes to Mr. Kittle. He hit some dimes to Ayuk. He hit some dimes to Debo. McCaffrey started doing that. Boy, man, you cannot arm tackle him. And, when they mentioned Vaughn's face, when they mentioned, I'm going to give you some flowers. Hold on, Vaughn. Let me give you your flowers. Hold on now. I'm giving you your flowers that you guys did good because one of the things that they mentioned that, I thought was going to be, I wasn't on the podcast before, but guys, I swear I was not, you can ask my brother, this is what I thought was going to happen. I thought that they were going to win the Lions, not because I thought I was hating and I wanted Niners to. I really thought the offense was just going to, really make the back end of the Niners, which you guys are a little bit injured in, look weak. Have you guys looked a couple times this season, and really just make them look weak and scroll over them. And at that point, you guys were going to have enough to come back. And I was halfway there. But the second half, they basically – I knew they were going to score because at the end of the day, the momentum started shifting where you guys were starting to catch them, and they stopped arm tackling. They literally said in the pregame, one of the things that are hurting them the worst, Kev, and you guys had a problem like that too when I was mentioned a couple weeks ago with Ray Lewis getting on you guys, is tackling. If you don't tackle this team, Yak will kill you with the Niners, and we know that because they got all pros and Hall of Famers everywhere. And I'm not gonna say what Kev said because it's hard for me to say because of the numbers of the game management thing. But I gotta give Mr. Brock Purdy credit because he did hit his things. He hit everything on point when needed to be hit on point. I'm not gonna lie, that man couldn't make a mistake in the second half. Kev, I'm not gonna lie, he couldn't make a mistake. And he didn't make a mistake. He didn't make a mistake, even though, like we mentioned, the hit it off his head. That was the mistake right there. There were so many times, even last week, where he hit you in the face, and they did not understand the ball. I don't know what's up with this man. He must have got some good luck. Like I think Ayuk said, a ladybug came on a shoe or something like that for luck.
I wish he didn't say that shit.
Whatever he said, it must have been real lucky because man, oh man, when he throws to the other team for some reason, they don't catch the ball. Last week they wasn't catching. This week they wasn't catching. And believe me or not, when we get to it next week, I guarantee the Chiefs are going to catch it. But we're going to give credit where credit is due. I'm going to let Braun give all more love and on pouring. There ain't nothing to hate on today. So all my Niner friends today at work and everything that I seen today on chat, let you guys dance. Just don't go crazy now. Talking about best QB, best this, best that, and all this. Oh, he changed the whole narrative. We're going to give him credit. He came back. He proved that he can come back. He proved that he can play good in big spots. And, I said, if I was a Niner fan, obviously I'm not. And if I was, obviously I'd be happy because that's all that matters is getting W's, and he's getting W's on this all-star team. So it's credit to them. And, Kyle Shanahan had a stat thing going into the fourth quarter. Remember, 4-2-0, whatever it was in terms of losing, never, ever came back. Now, back-to-back weeks does that. So, this team, even though I feel like I agree with Kevin Lyons, choked it in a way, even though they've been so young, and I hate the word a choke word, but hey, they like their coach said, they might not get an opportunity like this ever again. You never know. The 49ers capitalized on it, and once they smell blood in the water, and you finally heard in that second half, those fans stand up because in the first half, I thought it was a Lions game. I swear to God.
There's a lot of blue in the stands.
It was a lot of yelling when there was going calls their way. They standing up, standing proud, and faithful this and faithful that. You guys are going to the bowl once again, and congratulations for that because you guys, at the end of the day, made the plays happen and to capitalize on opportunity because if, even if they do those goals or go on those 4th and 2s and you guys don't go ahead and score and you guys don't hit field goals, even though you guys had a shaky kicker in the beginning, you guys don't win this game. So you guys had to play perfect in the second half, and you pretty much did. So got to give credit to the Niners in that. And, I just wanted to say to Shaun, because Shaun said something like, oh, you guys are all coming now. You guys, the thing I hate when people say when they lose, you guys are sitting on the bench too, or whatever. Everyone has a day. My team took it a couple weeks ago, and you guys, have my grave. A couple weeks ago, we had Kaz's grave lined up, knocked up, and him and Kaz's grave lined up. I thought we had Vaughn and Shaun's grave lined up this weekend to dance on it, but you guys prevail another 2 weeks to be in Vegas and be in the bowl. So congratulations for that. Let's see how it ends.
So before we get to the moment that everybody is here to see, we have a question, Toddy. And look, I get it. You're gonna say no. Just let it go and just answer it and then move on. All right. Uncle Manny asked the question. Toddy, would you not take Purdy?
Fuck no.
Purdy? All right, there we go. Block Toddy. Now break it down for us. The 49ers beat the Lions 34-31.
So, I'm so hyped up because I had the Chiefs on the hotline, so I'm feeling good. Just one off of that. I actually took Chiefs money line up until the game started. They were like right before the game started, they were like plus 200. I was like, this is madness for Patrick Mahomes to be a plus 200 dog in the playoffs. So they're coming off a win, so I'm kind of hyped up. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, we're going in. It's the Lions. The spread was 7.5. I took the spread. Obviously, they did not cover due to a backdoor cover, which kind of sucks in the end. But basically, I was, thinking how the game plan would go out. If we won the coin toss, we would have probably deferred. I think that's kind of what happened. Or the Lions would have, if they would have won the coin toss, they would have ended up receiving. So, Lions get the ball. And pretty much out the gate, they just they're able to do whatever, run all over us. And they get J-Mo on a reverse. And, I've been going back to the beginning of the season. I thought Jameson Williams would be an X factor for the Lions team. Even despite his 6-game suspension that he was serving this year, he's going to be one of their cornerstone pieces for years to come. Him being a blue chip player at Alabama and now in the NFL. And he proved it in the playoffs, being able to run reverses and being able to catch the ball, obviously, in the passing game. But they were getting Montgomery involved. Laporta was heavily involved. Just guys were running wide open. Amon-Ra St. Brown was just wide open everywhere. There were just big holes throughout the entire game that Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs were able to just run right through. And there were even, times where the defense would be facing, like 3rd and 12, 3rd and 18. And the Lions would run the ball on like a 3rd and 18 or a 3rd and 12 and get the first down with ease. You saw Jahmyr Gibbs just jogging to the first down line because nobody was in sight. And I'm like, what
that boy's cooking, man.
Like, what is this defense? What is Steve Wilkes scheming up? Because guys are just not even close to, the offensive players on the Lions side. And Jared Goff was slinging it. I mean, he was finding different guys here, over there, and they were pretty much doing whatever the fuck that they wanted. And when we missed the kick in the first half, I was just like, it was a Moody 48-yarder. Most Niner fans know that Moody is a very hit or miss kicker. I get he's a rookie, but
that boy 50-50 feels like.
Bro, every time he goes to kick a field goal, I'm just like holding my breath. Most Niner fans, I guarantee you, everybody in the stadium was like, oh, shit. Here comes Moody. He's trotting out again, and he shanks.
Surprised I haven't got a new kicker yet, man.
So, like, sometimes, like, when he missed the kick, I'm just not surprised. When he makes a field goal, I'm like, oh, shit. Like, okay. Like,
not a good sign.
So, they were doing pretty much whatever. And they scored. We get the ball back. Don't do shit. They score again. It's 14-0. It's 14-0. And I'm just like, bro, like, what are we doing? Like, we can't deviate away. And then, Purdy, he throws the pick on their side of the field, which kind of gave them the 14-point lead. And I was like, bro, we need
everything was going their way, man.
Like, we weren't able to do anything. And then after that drive was kind of the drive, we kind of started to put things together for a short period of time. And we drive down, score. Christian McCaffrey scores a touchdown. I was like, okay, maybe that'll get us going a little bit. Not really. The Lions kind of come out and pretty much moved up and down the field, and I think they were able to kick a field goal. Mm-hmm. And so we're down. What is it? It's 17-7. The Lions somehow end up scoring again. We're down 17.5, and I'm just like, bro, like, my cousin called me and was like, bro, what the fuck are we doing?
24/7,
and I'm just, I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. The defense needs to get a stop because our offense wasn't really able to do anything, but the defense was getting fucking dragged in the first half. And it was just like,
exactly.
The defense was not able to do anything. They couldn't stop Laporta. They couldn't stop the run game. But I felt like if we were able to plug their offensive lineup and them not really able to, gash us throughout the run game, it would open up so many things in the pass game for them. So I was like, if we are able to just stop the run somehow magically, we might be able to, generate stops. And we come out in the second half, don't score a touchdown, kick a field goal. So it's 24-10 now. And I'm just like, all right, we need to stop. What happens? The Lions drive down the field again, get into the red zone. The Niners, the Lions were doing on their first drive, they were able to pretty much drive down the field and get into field goal range. And I'm just like, okay, let's hold them to 3 points. But if we hold them to 3, then we're back down
3 scores.
We're back down 3 scores again. So, Dan Campbell trots out the offense on 4th and 2, and I'm just like, oh shit. We haven't stopped them the entire game. I don't even think they punted,
right.
Nothing. Like, we haven't done anything. So I'm just like, we need to stop on 4th down. I'm like, why isn't I was like, I probably would have taken the points to go up 3 scores. That's what I was thinking in the back of my head. But Dan Campbell's been a very aggressive coach throughout the year, and we've seen him on multiple
17 for 20 in that situation, like Kev mentioned.
Yeah, Kev mentioned that they pretty much every time they go for it on 4th, they usually get on
20 for 25. 4th and 3 or less.
25, yeah.
So Jared Goff drops back. Jared Goff has had time the entire game. Hasn't been pressured. He's able to sit back there. He could probably make a post on Instagram, TikTok, tell me to go follow me on the gram, this, that, and the third. He's able to do whatever he does back there. So he's just chilling back there. And then he looks for old Josh Reynolds. Might need to send Josh Reynolds a bottle or two. Champagne bottle or two. The way that he played for us this past game. Throws it over for Josh Reynolds. And Josh, oh, shit. Drops it. I'm just like, wait, we got to stop? There's no way. Okay. So we're on their side of the field.
Short field now. Easy money.
Boom. Purdy gets the ball. I think he hits, I think it was Debo on like a little swing route. Start to put some pieces together. Debo was getting a deep crosser, and he bounces up like, come on, let's fucking hurry up. Let's make this shit happen. And I'm like, okay. All right. Bam. Touchdown. I'm like, all right. We're down 10. We need another stop. I mean, I'm like, okay, we stopped them on the last drive, but it's like, was that really a stop? The nigga really just dropped the ball. So it was kind of like,
exactly, bro.
We got lucky. So I was just like, okay.
Realistic, okay, Vaughn. So far, realistic to play-by-play.
We need to make sure that we're able to stop the run because we weren't really able to do that. Lions get the ball back. First thing they do is give Jahmyr Gibbs the ball. What does Jahmyr Gibbs do? Fumble. We get a fucking turnover in the red zone. And I'm just like,
cough it up, man.
There's no way.
Momentum shifter right there.
Absolutely not. That's where I felt like the game turned. Not the 4th down call. Not the 4th down call because we weren't able to get stops. And I'm just like, okay, we got lucky. He dropped the ball. All right, cool. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Score another touchdown, Christian McCaffrey. I'm like, all right.
Key part about this, Vaughn. This is within like fucking the first 4 minutes, the freaking third. The league's getting erased.
In 8 minutes, we were able to erase.
Bro.
We were able to erase a 17-point deficit. What happens again?
It's a whole new game.
Lion gets the ball back. We're stopping the run. We're batting down passes.
Plugging everything.
We're doing everything we were supposed to be doing in the 4th quarter. And everything's going right. The crowd's back into it. Eminem was flipping off 49er fans before the game started. And I'm just like, oh my God, we're going to win this football game. There's no way in hell we're going to lose. After that fumble, that changed the entire image, tie, whatever you want to call it. the whole game changed. And then we were able to get the ball back. Kind of stalled out a little bit on that drive because Purdy got sacked twice.
That was getting a lot of tip balls too. I'm not gonna lie.
Aiden Hutchinson was able to get a couple of tips. I'm not even gonna lie about that. But Purdy took 2 bad sacks on that drive that led us to kick the field goal because we got back into the red zone again because we were able to drive down the field. Purdy was making some good throws. He was making some key plays with his legs. And we were able to go up for the first time in the game, 27-24. And I was like,
them legs, man.
Holy fucking shit. We're going to win. And then the Lions did the same thing that they were doing pretty much the entire game. They were able to go down and get into field goal range, kick the field goal, tie the game up. Going into the fourth, the game is tied. Purdy had like a legacy drive in this fourth quarter when the game was tied. He spins out he had like 2 crazy throws on this drive. I might be missing
one was lucky as hell, bro. Oh my god.
Jawan Jennings pass?
And he literally catches it like this, barely. That could have easily been a turnover.
Was that luck or is that play, man?
That's fucking luck, Toddy. It's Jawan.
We'll give it 50-50, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Because Mahomes looks like he's actually trying to do it. He wasn't really looking like it.
Down catches the entire season. You can go back and look at the numbers.
No, he is.
The reason why we call him third and Jawan for a reason. He only had 1 catch for 8 yards. And the 1 catch for 8 yards was probably one of the best plays of the game. Purdy spins out to and finds our fullback, 8-time Pro Bowl fullback, and Juice Juszczyk. Bro, like he was making play after play after play on this drive. The spin, freaking avoid sack to Jawan Jennings, throwing it across his body. It was an insane throw. I closed my eyes because I thought it was going to get intercepted, and he makes a play and finds Jawan Jennings. This is kind of the thing that you get with Brock Purdy. He's going to have those crazy, like, please don't do that throw. Oh my God, yes, throw. And
he does have that.
By the grace of God himself, we drive down the field and score again and go up 10 points. I'm like, bro, there's no way we're down 17 and we're going to cover the fucking spread. We're going to cover the spread. We're going to cover the spread at I got it at -7, but it ended up closing at 7.5. Ultimately, that was the icing on the cake. The Lions do go down and score again for the backdoor cover, and Jamison Williams, who
that fucks up though.
Yeah, that fucked up the spread, which
not even that, Vaughn. They should have hit the field goal earlier. Would have kept their timeout.
Yes, that was another thing that I was thinking about because they had 3 timeouts.
They didn't even get a stop.
They had 3 timeouts. No,
but that's better than the.
They had 3 timeouts.
Onside kick they never get.
They had 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. So I really had 4 opportunities to stop the clock.
Yes, they should just kick it right there.
It was like 2:30 or something like that. I thought what I probably would have done is kick the field goal. But at the same time, you're looking at you kick the ball back to the Niners. Are you confident that your defense is going to get stopped based off what's happened in the past couple of drives? The Niners were kind of able to, create some offense and score. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation. You kind of put it on your defense, or is the defense able to generate stops?
Bro, dude, the onside kick is basically no 0% chance now.
Because when's the last time you've seen someone really recover an onside kick?
0% chance. I'm saying you might as well concede the game. At least you have a decent type of opportunity, maybe for a luck.
And you waste all your timeouts, but they're kind of the Lions will probably get the ball back with like a minute, less than a minute probably. No timeouts. And they have to score a touchdown too, so it's not they have to go drive down. And if they were able to score quicker, I think
which they did pretty good to get there.
The tight end scored. I think the tight end stepped out of bounds or something. Kind of took a little bit more time off the clock down the stretch when they could have scored a little bit easier. But this was insane. It was really a game of momentum. And once the Niners I didn't even mention the Brandon Ayuk catch. You could argue it was luck, but it was pass interference on the defense and ended up getting declined.
Don't say that. It was a no call.
Pass interference?
They didn't call anything. They picked the flag back up.
It was a pass interference on the defense.
They picked it back up though. That's another if.
It was definitely a pass interference on the defense. So I mean, we would have got the spot foul anyway. Blah blah blah. Brandon Ayuk makes probably. If you saw on his Instagram post this today,
a story back. He was a movie.
He was number 2. He was number 2 on the top 10. He was like, "Who the fuck is on number 1?" And they showed Lamar catching it. He's like, "What the fuck, bro?" So, man, it's just a game of emotions, man. And this team is all about resiliency. Being down in multiple playoff games, Brock Purdy has put the team on his back to lead these fourth quarter, second half comebacks, and it's just unprecedented, man. This team does not give up, and for them to kind of dominate the majority of the regular season and be like a completely different team in the playoffs, kind of been playing from behind, and everybody saying, "Oh, well, when the Niners enter the fourth quarter, they're 1-87 or 1-whatever, and blah blah blah," and those multiple losses go back to years of Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard, because every time we were losing in the fourth quarter is because we didn't have a quarterback or Jimmy Garoppolo was hurt, and we had CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins. Kevin knows everything there is to know about Nick Mullins because he was the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm pretty sure Wes knows about Nick Mullins as well. So those stats piled up over time because those were our quarterbacks during that period of time. And, man, Purdy is going up against Mahomes. People are going to say this is the rematch. We don't really have the exact same team. Our team is similar to when we played Mahomes before, but this is a totally different team. I thought our defense was way better.
Chiefs are different, too.
I thought our defense was way better in 2019 than it is currently right now, but our offense is a whole lot better with Brock Purdy at quarterback. So this is not the Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mahomes went behind the years getting his first Super Bowl. So this is going to be a freaking showdown, man. I couldn't ask for it any other way.
So before you go, Gary, I had to fact check it. I typed in Juwan Jennings' third down stats. As you might as well start referring to Juwan Jennings as Mr. Third Down. Caught 11 of 12 targets on third down, which is the highest catch rate of any wide receiver on third down with 10 or more targets. So I'd be damned. I don't know if it was luck, Gary. He does it a lot. I was coming in talking crazy until he told me to fact check it, and I ran straight to it. I was hoping to say like 1 out of 12 on third down, but shit, 11 out of 12. Tip my hat.
Hey, give Kev credit. He bought it out, even though he thought it was gonna hurt him. I just want to say, even though I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie to you. I already gave 49ers credit. They deserve credit today for coming on top from yesterday, man. That was a big time win. It was like what I think I forgot who said in the chat. It was like a movie, basically. And like I said in the chat, sequel ain't really that good when you play the second game. But before we move on, if we do move on, we're going from here. But I do want to mention, even though me and Kev kind of torched the Lions today, I do want to put in perspective, man. This team did have a good season. They had went 12-5, and my thing is always to look back in the year, expectations. Realistic expectations. Everyone says they want to win a championship, but every team has realistic expectations. And the realistic expectations of this Niners team was to win this game and go to the bowl and have a Super Bowl chance, and we should have a chance to win the Super Bowl because that's the team they've been having all year. Like Vaughn said, you keep pointing at your finger, and hopefully it ain't missing still, because after Sunday, still might be missing in 2 weeks, Vaughn. But they got there as they should. But let's also give credit, even though we want to give them all the blame today and things of that nature. The Lions had a good season. I just want to say they had a good season. Jared Goff proved a lot this season that he's still, he's a guy who's on verge of taking maybe 2 teams to the Super Bowl in his time in the NFL. And, Dan Campbell might be getting crushed today, but he changed his whole organization. You got to give credit to Detroit. They showed up and they showed out. They got a lot of young guys. People are mentioning, like he mentioned himself, Coach Dan Campbell said that they might not get it again. He's being truthful with his guys. They might not. But one good thing they they're in a week, sorry to say, NFC and way. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going through the quarterbacks, Kev, but at the same time, this team has a lot of good young weapons, like we mentioned earlier. On the offensive side and the defensive side, they're going to have to buckle up more on the defense, as we can see, because they let a 17-point lead slip away in a championship game, which is a tough pill to swallow if you're a Lions fan. And you don't want to say same old Lions because it feels like it in this situation, but same old Lions probably wouldn't have got to here. So I don't want to do them dirty and say that. We're going to give them the credit where credit is due of having a great season and, handling a business in a lot of which ways. They really did not get dominated really too much this year. I think they got dominated maybe versus the Ravens one time this year and maybe one other team. Other than that, they've been, handling business and being a team that's actually showed up and showed out. Like, again, I know people are going to say I'm a hater, but the Cowboys, got a miracle win versus team on some bluff call, blown ref, and then they come shit to bed and they prove why they're not a Super Bowl caliber team. This team was close to be Super Bowl caliber because they had a 17-point lead on a Super Bowl caliber team in the Niners. So we got to give them credit. They played all the way good until a second half. And I forgot who it was. Ahmed St. Brown, who was winning off in the first half and didn't get nothing in the second half. And he waved goodbye too early. Young learning lesson. CJ Gardner Johnson. Man, you gonna learn lessons. You're gonna learn lessons, my boy. So you're gonna give him credit where credit's due, but you can't hatch your eggs too early. And you gotta stay the course, and Niners give them credit. They stayed the course. The veterans, and I don't lie, I only like Niners, obviously, but I got to give credit where credit's due, like I mentioned earlier. And one thing I do like is Kittle, and him saying in 2020, I'm gonna be back here again. And him to get back here with these guys and these vet guys, it's cool to see, man. It's cool to see because a lot of these guys are good people and they deserve it, and they've been great. And like I mentioned, and I hate to put this pressure, but it's true, Shaun and Vaughn. This team has a lot of greatness. It'd be very, very sad if they don't win a bowl after all these chances, Kev. All these chances and all these Hall of Famers, all these All-Stars.
That would be the best Sunday in the world.
You don't want to look back 10 years like, damn, we
had our shot.
This many times.
He beat us twice. Damn.
We don't want that to happen, Vaughn. I know it's in the air. One thing I haven't heard today from all the freaking Niner fans, even though I love them, they haven't said nothing bad about Mahomes. Nothing bad.
No one can say nothing bad about Mahomes.
I don't want to say nothing bad. I don't want. We can whoop his ass. We're gonna beat him. I haven't heard none of that. I haven't heard none of that. Oh, we're gonna beat them. I haven't heard nothing. There's all so far.
Person in the world probably said that in a Super Bowl.
I'm just saying, everyone's happy they won yesterday. Grateful they won. They're not looking like when LeBron one time when he's going against Curry, Durant, all of them. He's like, I'm just happy we got here because he knew what was ahead of him. Greatness was ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? Greatness that's hard to overcome. Greatness. So
all roads lead back to LeBron.
LeBron or Philly on this podcast, but that is concluding episode 79 of Stats Over. Tuning in, like I say at the end of every episode, we are nothing without you guys tuning in. So please leave a like, subscribe, repost our stuff on socials. We're everywhere. We're worldwide like the pandemic, like I like to say. So continue to show love, and next Monday is the show you want to come watch. We're making our picks. Oh, hold on. Let me cut the tape. For those of you that know, we will probably not be doing a podcast on Friday. Toddy, go ahead and tell the people why we might not be doing a podcast on Friday.
My son might be delivered this week. The due date is Wednesday. So now it's any day now. I think it might come during the Super Bowl. So we don't.
Damn, I didn't even know, man.
His first day on the world to seeing the Niners lose. Poor kid.
You did that so much.
First football game you ever watched. His daddy gonna be in the corner crying.
I was gonna say that for a couple weeks.
Crying, not because that he's bored, it's because the Niners lost. That's great.
Right. He's like, "Fuck the Chiefs, daddy."
But no, yeah, we're gonna play by ear for Friday's podcast. But
for sure,
there's a chance that we're not gonna be recording, but
unless Bond brings the camera to the.
He's like, yeah,
gotta get this content out.
He's like, yeah, Kevin Durant. Oh, the water broke. Kevin, I gotta go.
I gotta go.
Solo.
But I got the mic in the hospital room.
Yeah, we might hear baby crying in the back now, Vaughn. So we might have to mute.
It's not gonna be blue barking no more. Now it's gonna be some other sounds coming. So it's a lot of distractions everywhere. But like Toddy said, content is the first job of our thing, and we're gonna make sure we get you guys out that content. So please come back for us. We will let you guys know on Friday or by Friday if we'll be going. But if not, we will for sure be here on Monday, welcoming the first Stats Over Politics baby. So prayers to you and Soph.
Congrats, Gary. Yep.
We gotta wait another 2 weeks to see the meltdown, but it's coming. So this is episode 79 of Stats Over Politics. Episode 80 is gonna be a good one. So make sure you make it.
Jalen Hurts made the Pro Bowl.
Probably
he might be a reserve because Purdy's gonna be the Super Bowl.
I'm not gonna watch them play flag football and dodgeball and kickball. I didn't watch it when they had pads on. I didn't watch it when they had pads on in Hawaii. Why would I watch them play flag football? We got non-kickers trying to kick field goals. That shit looks horrible.
Man,
I don't have time for that. But episode 79, Kevin, Garry, and Jaevon are signing off. We will see you guys possibly Friday, but if not Friday, for sure on Monday with the fresh 4. So we will see you guys then. Have a great rest of your night.
Peace.